By the way, jippreżenta Gabriel Lija.
Il-lejla tajba jena Gabriel Lija nilqakom għal programm ieħor ta' diskussjoni għażażaħ. By the way, illum programm xiftit differenti naħseb mill-ġilin ikonna hawnhekk fl-studio tagħna onorat illi llum miegħi tingħaqad propju Miss Universe Malta, Beatrice Enjoya. Did I say
Yes, you said
your surname correctly?
Yes,
okay.
perfect.
Because I was very afraid on how I'm going to pronounce it. Or I can also call you Queen B.
Queen B, yes.
Queen
that's
B
what
sounds
perfectly-
easier.
Yeah, that's how everyone called me actually.
Queen B, it sounds funkier as well.
Yes.
So we have Queen B. Għanna għana wkoll l-Alan Darmani li huwa propju l-organizzatur ta' Miss Universe Malta u għanna wkoll l-Michela De Bono li hija il-youth worker ta' Aġenzija Żgħażagħ f'dan il-programm li se nkun qegħdin niddiskutu mhux biss dak kollu li ġib miegħu Miss Universe Malta imma wkoll anki l-istorja u dak kollu li għaddejt minnu inti propju matul din l-esperjenza ta' Miss Universe imma wkoll anki fil-passat anki dak li ġarrab żgur li għandek storja ta' ispirazzjoni għal dawk koll li se jkunu qegħdin jisimgħuna. You're a winner, but if I had to start by asking you what are your biggest achievements in life so far?
We are talking about my biggest achievement, apart from my children, obviously. So this
Because you're a
is-
mother of 3.
Exactly, I'm a mother of 3, and so it doesn't count because that's granted. And my biggest achievement is Miss Universe, winning Miss Universe Malta, because it's something that was totally unexpected in 40 years of my life. It was, the biggest achievement.
For how long have you been modeling now?
I've been modeling for 40 years. I started when I was 18, so you can make the count. I mean, modeling as a fashion model, as a professional fashion model. But pageantry, I had some years when I was younger, for 3 years. I did quite a lot of pageantry back then in Cameroon. I went to I make it to the semi-final of Miss Cameroon. But I had a very bad experience. So basically, the lady who was organizing, she told me, listen, you do not have the beauty, how you call it, the beauty standard. Thank you, Alan. You do not have the beauty standard for a beauty queen. You are more a model than a beauty queen. So obviously, I walked away from pageantry with a lot of bitterness in my heart. But at the same time, I had the door of fashion industry and modeling wide open for me, and yes, so I went back into pageantry thanks to Alan.
How did you meet?
I always followed her fil-show tiegħi kienet dejjem tkun waħda mill-modelli fil-fashion shows mhux bħala kontestanta. Kelli brand partikolari li dejjem kienu jqabduha biex jew tiftaħ jew talaq ix-show tagħhom u minn dejjem kont ninnota li għandha dik ix-ħaġa partikolari li tispikka meta tkun fuq l-istage illi għalkemm ma qatt ma kellimta però kien hemm dik ix-ħaġa li kienet tolqotni fiha. Wara li fetħu Miss Universe is-sena l-oħra fetħu bibien għan-nisa li għandhom over 28 għax qabel kien il-limitu sa 28 years.
L-ewwel darba li.
Iva, dik kienet l-ewwel darba li bdew jaċċettaw nisa miż-żewġa, nisa bit-tfal u nisa l fuq minn 28 years. Mal-ewwel ġiet f'moħħi li nikkuntattja. U meta ntqajt magħha iktar ħassejt dak il-connection illi din il-mara verament għandha xi ħaġa speċjali x'toffri. Fil-fatt ma kontx żbaljat għal-fatt li anke rawa l-ġurija dak li rajt jiena u spiċċat rebħet.
How did you feel when he contacted you the first time?
I was laughing because the first thing I told him was like, I'm not a beauty queen, I'm a model. I mean, like, plus I'm 40, I was still 39. For me, it was just like, this is impossible. I'm a mother, 39, I'm a model, so this is definitely not for me.
The odds weren't in favor.
No. I said, no, this is definitely, people are going to make fun of me. And he said, no, he explained to me the rules that change and everything. And I said, okay, I'm going to have a thought of it. I went home, told my kids, and they were extremely happy. Actually, they convinced me.
The kids convinced you?
Yes. I told them, but I'm your mom. They say, so what? You're our mom, but you're so beautiful. And just do it, mom. I mean, we are your biggest supporter. Just go for it. And I said, okay, so why not? Let me just do it for fun and actually meet different people. And it was just for fun, to be honest.
How old are your children?
21 soon. 11 and 10. So they will all add 1 year plus in 3 months. 1 month after each other.
Each other? Okay.
Yes. So 21, 12 and 11.
Neħdu l-opportunità nselmulhom. What are their names?
Anne Fate, Nathan Lohan, it's in French. So Anne Fate, Nathan Lohan and Emma.
So regards, if you're following this radio program, this is your first time on the radio?
It's my first time, yes. Yes,
Great.
on the radio. On TV, no, I'm used to
Yes,
it.
yes, yes.
Radio, first time.
Elli, nikoll nistaqsik, kemm ilek involut f'din ix-xena u x'attirak li tidħol fija?
Bħala norganizza events fuq television u hekk li istħaq 20 sena. Pero Miss Universe din is-sena ħadd immarka l-10 snin edizzjoni tiegħi, l-10 sena illi wara 2002 irnexxieli nerġa' nġib lura Malta f'Miss Universe fit-2015-16, sorry. Li kien hemm 15-il sena gap fejn Malta ma kienx tuħu sem. Miss Universe minn dejjem kienet xi ħaġa li kien it-tir tiegħi li nilħaq f'daw l-avvenimenti li organizza jiena. Il-fatt li għandek ir-responsabilità li qed tirrappreżenta pajjiż ħieħ u l-opportunità li qiegħed nofrina grazzi għal dan it-titlu lil tfajliet illi mhux biss dawk li jitilgħu barra minn Malta, ovvjament jieħdu lek l-esperjenza li qed jikkompetu fuq stage internazzjonali, iżda anka tattirani ħafna il-bidla li nara fil-kontestanti. Il-fatt li ħafna minnhom ġieli applikawlhom anke l-parents tagħhom stess għax jgħidu li ħares mistħija ħafna għandha bżonn toħroġ minn dik il-qoxra tagħha għandha bżonn temmen iktar fiha nifisha, ħafna minnhom jidħlu wkoll bħala challenge biex aħna nagħlmuhom dwar public speaking u personality projection. Ġifieri tgħinhom ħafna mhux biss fil-karriera iżda anke fil-ħajja personali tagħhom. Illi jkun hemm min mbagħad eżempju dak li nagħlmuhom aħna jutilizzah biex eżempju jisibu jinnaf interview waqt xogħol biex jisibu xogħol. U kelli min illi kellhom interviews biex jidħlu għall-istudju li rridu, eżempju kien hemm min dentistry school u affarijiet hekk. Ġifieri vera nara il-differenza
li mbagħad tista' tapplikhom f'affarijiet oħra.
Eżatt, aħna nagħlmuhom biex imbagħad huma jibqgħu jġorruhom ma' ħajjithom kollha f'dak il-qasam li jkunu jixtiequ jidħlu fih. U vera nara bidla mill-ewwel ġurnata niltaqa' magħhom li ħafna minnhom ikunu jistħu jew jibbiżaw ikollhom dik li ngħidu aħna stage fright għal konfidenza li jrabbu sal-aħħar ġurnata.
How did Miss Universe Malta change you?
To be honest, as a model, we have a specific catwalk. We do not need to talk. We just walk as models straight in, straight out. Miss Universe, I'm someone I like to talk, but I lost this part of me, first of all, because of my past trauma, and also because apart from my job, I never had the opportunity to actually speak out my thoughts, my opinion, and all these things. So Miss Universe actually, apart from changing my catwalk from a model to actually a woman, also brought a lot in self-confidence on the stage. Being able to open up and just speak in front of an audience of 25,000 people. This is one of the biggest things that I will keep with me from Miss Universe. I'm sitting here being able to talk, to speak confidentially on TV, on radio, thanks to Miss Universe, because those are things that I was like, no, I rather avoid it because, first of all, the sound of my voice sounds very weird in my ears.
Everyone says that is on the radio. Then you adjust your ears, I think.
Yes. And then I'm just like very comfortable because I got used to it, you know. So this is also something very good because now I'm like, if I have a conference, which I did also with the campaign against domestic violence, standing there, giving my speech in front of very important people. I never imagined I could do something like that in my life. So I have so much confidence in me and it's just so amazing. Yeah.
You mentioned your past traumas.
Yes.
Maybe you can share a bit about your life back in Cameroon and your experiences.
So basically I grew up in a family of I have 8 siblings.
Okay.
My dad as a doctor, my mom as a nurse, but she chose to stay home, obviously, to take care of her little tribe because we were quite a lot. Going to school like everyone, you know, having my own passion. I was a gymnast. I had to stop it because I was growing up too fast, so I was tall and I couldn't anymore. I played basketball for the rest of my life and yeah. So just a normal life until I met my ex, obviously. So I am a survivor of domestic violence. I don't like to say a victim because I do not like to victimize myself. I rather see myself as someone who won a certain situation. You know, it's very important, because when you start to think that you're a winner, unconsciously you become a winner. So I'm a survivor of domestic violence, and that's my past trauma. So mental abuses, sexual abuses
Sexual
also.
abuses as
Yes, yes. I can speak about it openly today. And this was actually my biggest fear when I accept to take part of Miss Universe, because I know how it works. I know that we all need to defend a cause. We all need an advocacy and do some philanthropic works. I never spoke about it. I never opened up about it. And I said, okay, I think this is like the call of the universe. It's time for me to heal from my past. And the only way to heal from my past is to talk about it. And what best than the stage, the Miss Universe stage, standing there, talking and inspiring other people through their screens, their phones, and even in the audience, inspiring them and empowering all the, not only women, because also men, they have those abuses. So yeah, I spoke about it, and I felt like I just free myself, you know, and I kept on talking about it, and I'm very proud of myself, yes.
What was your turning point from a victim to a survivor? Maybe there was a particular episode that...
Yes, my kids, once again, my kids, because in Africa, we believe, maybe other part of the world, and maybe anyone, when you get married, when you are in a relationship, it's not because the first thing you have in mind, you don't plan a separation. We all aspire to best, to beautiful things. So when it hits you, you will do your best to save your relationship, to save your marriage. So imagine when you have kids involved. Then you don't think about yourself anymore. You think about those children who will grow up without maybe their dad or their mom, or in a separate, you know how it is, how it's very complicated.
Very painful.
Very painful for them, you know. So I was thinking always about those things, and I said, you know, at the end of the day, I chose this path, so I'm going to do my best to save what I have for the sake of my children. But it's reached a point where I couldn't take it anymore. A point where I nearly saw my life just flying in front of me. Like, okay, if I don't do this, my kids, they are young, but they are already witnessing things that they shouldn't. My eldest one, she was grown up enough to understand what was happening, and it was affecting her and still affecting her now.
Because she was beating you up.
Yeah. It was affecting her a lot. And I said, if I don't take actions now, I would rather lose my kids, or they will lose a mom. So that was the turning point. I said, okay, I will assemble the little courage that I have left and take action, stop this. I know that it would be painful. The pain would remain, will last for maybe, I don't know, 3-5 years. But one day my kids, they will look at me and say, Mom, you made the right decision, you know. And this is where we are today.
Exactly.
So,
and did you try to escape before? Were there other attempts?
I tried to escape many times. But you know, when you are into this situation as a victim, when you're a victim of domestic violence, no matter what happened around you, you always, for some reason, don't ask me why, you always go back to the perpetrator. Because first of all, someone who is capable to mistreat his partner or her partner is someone who is very manipulative. They know you, they know how your brain works. They will play a lot on your self-confidence. Once they manage to destroy your self-confidence, they know that they can do whatever they want with you. They just play you like a ball. So you can decide to leave, but you will end up coming. Because in your mind, you already know that you're not good enough. Nobody will accept you. So you end up going there until you will just have a click one day. Something will happen, and that will stop. That was my case, actually. And quite a lot of women, they go through it. Because, I mean, my parents, they told me, my friends, But I said, I couldn't listen to anyone.
Your
I
friends
couldn't.
and your family members were telling you to leave.
Yes. They didn't know that.
They used to see the bruises and used to
Exactly. And I was lying, actually, about the bruises. I was always telling them that I had a car accident. I bumped into a wall. I was closing a door and I broke my finger. You know, this, but, you know, they know the behavior of the person. They know me. They're like, there is something going on there. So actually, when I stand on the stage of Miss Universe, my sister sent my speech to my mom, and my mom called me the day after. I knew that it's not to congratulate me, but she wants some explanations, and I couldn't speak. I sent her a message. I told her, Mom, I call you later, because I didn't want to ruin that moment, you know. I wanted to enjoy it.
So your mother got to know about your experience
Yeah.
when you were on stage of Miss Universe?
Yes. Yeah. She knew that it was, the truth.
During the final show of Malta, before she won.
Yeah.
Għalix kellhom il-kontestanti kellhom ċertu mistoqsijiet, l-ewwel għat-top 16, un-bat top 6, un-bat top 3, kull darba jkollhom questions differenti. And she was answering about her domestic violence during one of the questions. That's where she found the courage to actually talk about it.
Yeah.
So her mom got to know about her experience when she was on stage of Miss Universe Malta, and she was obviously watching her back home online.
Yeah, since it was in English, so my sister had to translate for her, and she called me. She was crying. She told me, but I knew that something was wrong. Why you never told me the truth? But in that moment, you know, you have the feeling of shame. You're shamed, and you don't really want to be seen as a victim. You always said,
as a failure, maybe you feel as a failure.
Yes, as a failure, because my parents, they didn't really want me to be in this relationship. I choose, so I said, okay, it's my choice. I have to assume it alone. I'm not going to be the one that is seen as a victim, you know. I rather fix my problems alone on my side and try to hide it. Yeah.
Before you got married, were there any red signs, red flags?
Yes, they were. But I was young, and I chose to ignore them totally.
What type of red flags?
Alcohol, a lot of violence with others, and also verbally with me, and physically. When it started physically, I wasn't married, I could have left, but I choose always with the optic of, no, we are still young, we're gonna make it, and you know, all the apologies after, and the presents, and you know, and I was a mom when I was 19, so I became kind of responsible or mature at an early age. I was already working because, I was a single mom, so I was working and going to school at the same time to provide for my daughter. And when this person came in my life, he actually gave my daughter this security where I felt like, okay, now I can focus on my studies. So I have all the mix of feelings. I'm like, okay, if I stop it now, what am I going to do with my daughter? I want her to have a different life than mine. I don't want her at 19 to become a single mother, or, I don't know, doing something bad because I failed her, you know. So it was all that. I chose to ignore the red flags, and yeah, it just kept on getting worse and worse and worse.
But you managed to find courage, and here you are today sharing your story.
Yes, it took me quite a lot of years, but I don't see those years like a waste of time, because I believe that everything comes at the perfect time. We cannot rush the future. We cannot rush our destiny. When it's supposed to come, it will come. That's how I believe. But the only thing, because there are a lot of victims who doesn't make it to the end. They will maybe end their life because they don't have the strength to wait. So I will never minimize the pain they are going through, because it takes a lot of courage to stand against mental health. So the only thing is to be extremely strong and seek for help, something that I didn't do. Always don't be ashamed of the judgment, because at the end of the day, people judge you, but it will never change who you are. People are judging me every single day, but
do you
I'm
feel
Miss
the
Universe
judgment?
Malta. Of course I do feel judgment. But I'm proud of myself. People who knows me are proud of myself. Are proud of me. Alan, who is the national director of Miss Universe, he's very proud of the Miss Universe, the representative that I am. So for me, this is
Your
enough.
children?
My children, people who doesn't know me, you know, I have a lot of love. So I rather focus on that than the rest. The rest, I don't expect to be loved 100%. People will always criticize me. So if you're going through any kind of trauma or experience in your life, do not hesitate to seek to ask help because you're afraid of the judgment, because that judgment will never ever change 1 second of your life. Never. You just ignore them and that's it.
Ekku, qed nitkellmu dwar is-saħħa mentali tajjeb infakkar anki n-numru li hemm tal-helpline tas-saħħa mentali li huwa il-1579 il-1579 fuq dan in-numru huwa helpline b'xejn tal-gvern li anki tistgħu iċċemplu biex anki kemm jekk hemm realtà ta' kif qed insemmu ta' violenza domestika imma anki forsi violenza oħra anki bħalma tinsemmu violenza verbali u violenza psikoloġika li qed taffettwalkom anki s-saħħa mentali jew hemm realtajiet ta' nuqqas ta' saħħa mentali tistgħu iċċemplu kwalunkwe ħin fuq dan in-numru u ssibu anki l-għajnuna. Mikela, inti youth worker, din hija storja sabiħa ta' ispirazzjoni imma li hemm ukoll elementi ta' tbatija, ma dan id-tbatija li llum il-ġurnata kif anke qed nisimgħu l-istorja ta' Queen Bee inbidlet, ġifieri l-istorja hija storja ta' tama fl-aħħar mill-aħħar li jekk inti.
Nammira ħafna.
Il-kommenti tiegħek.
L-għed vera nammira ħafna l-istorja ta' Queen Bee u napprezza ħafna fi xwaslet illum il-ġurnata wkoll. Naħseb meta naħdmu maż-żgħażagħ ninutaw ħafna kemm iż-żgħażagħ maż-żgħażagħ hija l-iktar ħaġa importanti meta jissapportjaw il-xulxin. U s-support system hija xi ħaġa li nfittxu ħafna għax barra li hemm l-għajnuna professjonali li dejjem tgħin, però iż-żgħażagħ minnhom infushom jistgħu jkunu ta' support anke nies li jkollok madwarek, it-tfal, il-ġenituri huma affarijiet kollha li ż-żgħażagħ tgħinhom biex ikomplu jikbru u jimirħu wkoll. L-opportunitajiet hija xi ħaġa oħra li hija vera importanti kif qal Alan meta nipprovdu daw it-tip ta' opportunitajiet fejn iż-żgħażagħ jistgħu jibnu l-konfidenza tagħhom, ikollhom ċans li jitkellmu u anke jesprimu lilhom infushom, nemmen li tista' tkun ta' għajnuna ħafna għalihom.
Ellen, jiena kurjuż. Meta smajt l-esperjenza ta' Queen Bee? Kif ħassejtek fis-sens jekk qed twieġeb dawk il-mistoqsijiet fil-finali? Qabel dawk il-mistoqsijiet inti kont taf diġà l-istorja tagħha jew meta kienet twieġeb dawk il-mistoqsijiet skoprejt? Imma xorta anki jekk skoprejt qabel xorta.
Eżatt. Ovvjament jiena nitkellem ma' kull kontestanta u kollha jkunu qalu li xi ftit l-istorja tagħhom tal-passat u jiena dejjem ngħidlhom illi jekk inti tixtieq illi forsi taqsam l-esperjenza tiegħek biex taspira u tispira li dawk it-tfajliet kollha li tisegwuk tista' tipo you share your story. Pero jiena bħal organizer qatt ma nista' nimbuttom jew inġelhom illi jekk ma jkunux jixtiequ jaqsmu l-istorja tagħhom bil-forsi li jgħiduha. Ovvjament inkun nixtieq illi jirrakkontawha għal fatt li naf kemm hemm ħafna tfajliet hemm barra illi jistgħu jisimgħu sempliċement klip wieħed ta' kontestanta minnhom u jgħidu jiena nirrelata ma' dik il-persuna jew ma' l-istorja ta' dik it-tfajla. Allura nkun nixtieqhom li jaqsmu l-esperjenza tagħhom, però ovvjament kienet għażla ta' Beatrice li titkellem dwarha mhux għax ġelta jiena. U ħadd ħafna pjaċir illi i użata mhux għal vantaġġ tagħha biex tiġbed is-simpatija tan-nies forsi bħalma ħasbu xi nies, iżda biex verament tgħin il dawk kollha li semgħu u għaddew mill-istess esperjenza. Fil-fatt, wara li ġiet inkurunata, dak il-lejl stess malli konna ħerġin mill-lukanda fej saret is-serata finali, sakemm wassalnija fil-lukanda fej kienet ser toqgħod għal dawk it-tliet tim wara bħala rebbieħa, għaliex kellna ċertu attivitajiet, sibna 3 tfajliet li waqfuna biex jgħidu la prosa ta' x'qadni kif rajtek fuq it-television u vera missitni l-istorja tiegħek għaliex jiena għaddejt minn esperjenzi simili imma qatt ma sibt il-kuraġġ illi naqsamhom jew ma tal-familja jew ma sħabi stess. U verament dik missitni għal fatt li literally wara ftit minuti li kienet spiċċat ix-show tiġa kien hemm min kien aspira ruħu minna. U ħadd pjaċir ukoll li Beatrice użata bħala pjattaforma tagħha fil-ġerni kollha minn Lulju wara li rebħet sa meta tlajna l-Miss Universe u għadha d-dejja s'issa bl-istess kampanja biex kellha ħafna attivitajiet fejn se taqsam din l-opportunità u rawa iktar nies u l-messaġġ tagħha wasal għal iktar widnejn.
Ekku, mhux biss a beauty pageant imma verament women advocacy u advocacy kontra kull forma ta' violenza. Dan huwa by the way, se nifqu għal ftit imma minn hawn ftit ieħor inkomplu b'aktar mistoqsijiet interessanti biex inkomplu sir nafu lil Queen Bee.
By the way, jippreżenta Gabriel Lija.
By the way, ikompli l-lum miej fl-studio għandi l-Miss Universe Malta, il-Beatrice Enjoya,
Yes.
Queen Bee, who's sharing her experiences, her story, għanna u koll l-Alan Darmanin, li għal-daw l-axħar issa 10 snin il organizza Miss Universe Malta, l-Michaela bħala youth worker ta' l-Aġenzija. Zazah nitkellmu dwar il-ġejt li jista' joħroġ anki minn dawn it-tip ta' attivitajiet. Beatrice, you were sharing your experiences. On the day that you were crowned as a winner,
Yes.
I actually was following the television and I actually saw the program. And I'm not really into modeling or this type of things. But I actually enjoyed seeing the interviews and what was happening. And I remember that you mentioned something very specific. You mentioned self-harm.
Yes.
And it's a very particular topic, but it's a very taboo topic as well. So maybe you can share about that topic only if you feel comfortable.
Yes, of course I am. So basically I experienced self-harm when it was during my divorce here in Malta, actually. And I was already in a relationship that for me was a safe place. So I did not expect how things went there. There was a lot of manipulation and everything.
This is the second time now.
Yes, I was going through the divorce and at the same time I was kicked out of my matrimonial home. So I found myself in the street with my eldest daughter.
Here in Malta or?
Yes, here in Malta. And this person I just met offered to move in with him. So it was very, very quick. And obviously the issue started, but in a different way. It was more like a manipulation because I was extremely vulnerable back then. I had no money. I had no job. I was just there with my daughter, you know. She was
How old
attending.
was she?
She was 12 or 13, something like that,
Okay.
yes. And she was attending the private school, so I needed to pay her school. I had literally no money to pay, so this person offered to, he was helping. But the manipulation was totally different. Still, I was under the control. And like it wasn't enough, the court decided to take my kids from me, and I wasn't allowed to see them. So I had a restriction from school. I mean, I was humiliated at my children's school. They didn't allow me to approach the school for like 10 meters. I was treated like a criminal. It was totally unfair because I didn't harm someone. I just wanted to see my kids in that moment. So my brain couldn't take it anymore. And the day it happened, I had them with me at home. I wasn't allowed, but I have them at home. They were watching TV. I had an argument with my partner. I went to the bathroom and I was just so desperate. And I said, listen, I'm going to do it. But I didn't do it because I wanted to end my life. Never, because it's painful. And I don't stand pain. I knew that what I was going to do would be painful, but it was a way for me to ask for help. Because, I mean, my dad is a doctor. I've been seeing him, and I study science also, so I know exactly how to do, and, you know. So I did it in a way that will not kind of make me, if I can say it on the radio, bleed a lot or damage my wrist. So I took my own precaution to minimize the pain. So I was conscious of what I was about to do and doing.
You weren't suicidal?
No, not at all. I did it because it was the only way for me to ask for help. I didn't have a voice. I lost my voice because of my trauma. I couldn't speak like I'm talking right now. I couldn't even scream. So this was the only way for me to call for help. And it worked because I went to the psychiatric, and from the psychiatric, I started seeing psychologists. But unfortunately, even going through those therapy makes me somehow feel even worse, because I had to repeat the same thing all the time. It was like I'm stuck in my trauma and I'm not seeing any way out. So I decided, after changing psychiatrics for like 5 times, I said, okay, now you have to do the things by yourself. Honestly, I cannot really explain how I managed to heal my mental health. But I started doing better. I broke up with the person. Obviously, after he left me. I'm not ashamed to say that. So he left me. And I had to find a job. After not working for very long, I had to find a job. I moved in a flat where...
What did you do as a job then?
I found a job in a gaming company. And my salary back then was exactly the same amount I was paying my rent. So I had nothing left to eat with my daughter.
You were in poverty.
I was in total poverty. I had nothing. So my only issue, my only problem at the moment was to find a roof for my daughter, not for myself. And you know, something that kicked me, when we walked in that little flat, my daughter, she was so happy. And she told me, I will never forget. She told me, finally, Mom, we have our own home and nobody will ever put us in the street anymore. And at that moment, I'm going to cry.
It's okay.
And at that moment, I realized, I think my strength come from there. I said, if I can do this, it's a little step. If I can do it, I already gave her a safe home. The rest will come because I didn't even know how I got to have the job and everything. The rest will come. My strength just came there. And from that day, I swear on my life that I will never, ever put my kids in a difficult situation. I will do whatever it takes to protect them and to protect myself also.
It was a cry of help.
Yes,
Before.
that was a cry of help. It wasn't because I wanted to. No, I mean, I cannot think about something like that because my kids are there. I mean, I have a very big fright. My fright is that something happened to me and someone else have to take care of my children because I don't know if they will be able. No one can love your kids more than you yourself. So I said, I train a lot. I take care of my health. I control what I eat. I try to eat healthy. I don't do crazy stuff because I want to be healthy and live as long as possible, 150 years. Okay, let's not exaggerate. But I want to be there for my children and make sure that they're okay. Because what I've been through, I'm lucky to be mentally strong enough, but I don't know if my kids, if they experience 1/3 of what I went through, if they will have the strength to handle it. So I want to be there, like, to protect them.
And have they experienced, for example, racism here in Malta?
Yes, they experience. My son plays football, and you know, during some games they kick each other, and you have some parents who throw words and this. At first he was crying, and obviously it hurt me, and I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna jump in the stadium and just do something. But I said, no, I'm gonna tackle it in a more mature way and educate my son, because you know, the action of others affects you only if you allow it to affect you. That's my philosophy of life. So I said, I'm going to focus on the emotion of my son, explain to him, and he will understand that he doesn't have to cope with the ignorance of others. It's their responsibility, it's their business. He knows who he is, and he has to be proud of the person he is. And I mean, people will always talk. Once again, not everyone will like you. In a different situation, they will say something to hurt you, but don't allow the stupidity of people to affect you.
Thank you for sharing another part of your story.
Yeah.
Because it's, I won't say twofold, it's multi-layered.
Yes. Yeah, I have. Yeah, it was tough, to be honest, and I love this experience of Miss Universe. You know why? Because I feel the strength of inspiring and holding the hand of everyone going through similar situation. It's not something that I can really explain. I can't explain how my brain works. I can't explain how I think, because I study philosophy. And on a daily basis, I read a lot of Stoics. I don't know if you know about it. And the way I think, sometimes I find it very difficult to, even at work, it's very difficult for me to explain and go through my thoughts, because I know how I think, but sometimes I just sound crazy. Someone will say, but I mean, like, how come you think about this kind of things? So I wish I could just help anyone going through any kind of situation, help them being mentally strong, not help them to cut anything because you can't predict what will happen in the next hour. So I can't do that. But it's how to handle the
Mentally.
actual present situation, how to be strong face in front of this kind of situation. That's what I really wish to do.
Jekk forsi nista' nżid xi
Iva,
ħaġa
mela.
żgħira. Sfortunatament li ddispeċini ħafna f'din l-istorja kollha hija illi forsi dawk il-Maltin illi iffukaw minflok fuq l-istorja u l-ispirazzjoni tagħha li għal xiex tixtieq tuża it-titlu ta' Miss Universe Malta, iffukaw biss fuq il-kulur tal-ġilda tagħha. Minflok semaw l-istorja u qalu iva din il-mara għandha il-passat tagħha li jista' jgħin ħafna tfajliet, sempliċement
Hija mara
waqfu
sabiħa.
eżatt
Intelligenti.
intelligenti ħafna. Waqfu fuq l-aspett fiżiku u ġġudikaw ġast
Semmek.
fuq il-kulur tal-ġilda tagħha minflok verament semaw l-istorja u l-messaġġ li xtaqet wassali. So dak il-punt l-iktar li dejjaqnija tar-razzizmu mhux sempliċement għax forsi maċċettawx il-tfajla mhix tipikament tidher Maltija tirrappreżenta lil Malta, iżda minflok semaw il-messaġġ li xtaqet wassali iffukaw iktar fuq l-istorja l-oħra, fuq il-parti l-oħra. Sempliċement il-kulur tal-ġilda.
Ekku, semmejna il-self-harm, tep nerġa' nfakkar il-numru l-1579 li huwa il-numru ta' emerġenza, il-helpline li jista' jintuża f'kolunkwe ċirkostanza u aħna dejjem inħeġġu biex dak li jkun ifittex l-għajnuna professjonali u dwar dan is-suġġett anke waqt by the way fil-ġimgħat il ġejjin se nkomplu anke niddiskutuh għaliex inħossu li huwa suġġett ieħor li sfortunatament huwa tabu ħafna hemm bżonn nitkellmu aktar dwar u ma nafx Mikela tixtieq anki tikkummenta fuq dak li għadna kif smajna.
U imma moltre milli ġifiri moltre mill-ġilda tal-persuna, we're so much more as human beings, dik hija realtà. Taf kif ġifiri għandna tant affarijiet li tittara fil-persuna u taraf u li tapprezza wkoll u naħseb dik hija xi ħaġa li hija importanti u li ma narawx biss il-kulur tal-ġilda biex inkompli fuq li qed tgħid inti ta' wkoll.
If I had to ask you, what's the greatest, because you were speaking about your children,
Yes.
how do you manage to balance your work, your modeling, your title of Miss Universe Malta and taking care of three children?
You know, women are the best thing that the world and the universe ever experienced, actually.
I agree.
I know that men will not like it,
It's okay.
but it's true. It's true. Because we are able to multitask. It's called multitasking. I have this question every day. Even my manager, she was asking me just before here, she was asking me, but I don't understand how you manage to jump from this to that. And I said, listen, once you find yourself in a situation, you don't have any other choice. You have to adapt. So before being a mother, I was doing certain things and I was handling, going to school, playing basketball, going to gymnastics, seeing my friends, you know. You can do the same. If you're capable of going to work and then go home and maybe do your laundry, wash your dishes, cook, it's exactly the same.
And
So-
you do manage to have quality time?
Of course, I do
Sure.
manage to do quality. I manage to go to the gym. I manage to have my alone time. I manage to take care of my kids, to do my mommy duties, to take care of my partner. So, yes, the only thing I don't do is take a vacation.
No vacation?
Enfin, when I say vacation, it's like going on a long trip because I always kind of, feel guilty
Okay.
when I leave my work and when I leave my kids. But I mean, just multitasking, for me, it's something normal, actually. I'm not seeing myself doing something extraordinary. It's all about planning.
Inti
was-
jena xielek?
Jiena jena xilli kol, xina għandi jemmen u kol where there's a will, there's a way. Meta tkun trid xi ħaġa, dejjem issib il-ħin għal kolunke ħaġa. Fir dawk in-nies li forsi jaqtaw qalbhom xidu lej, jiena ma nlaħħaqx xi kolli x-xogħol joħod li wisq ħin, nemmen li kif veranti tittaħdem għal xi ħaġa, il-ħin issibu żgur. Naħseb Beatrice the biggest issue was with Miss Universe li fatt li she had to spend 3 weeks in Mexico competing there u kellha tħalli l-tfal tagħha u Malta.
So the
Iżda-
children didn't come with you there?
No.
It wasn't possible?
They were not
They
allowed
were
like to
not
have their
allowed.
children with them there.
Yeah.
So she had to spend 3 weeks away in Mexico, literally on a different time zone. So kella tadatta li minn emmek waqt l-attivitajiet mis-sitta ta' filgħodu għandek sa xi nofsija ta' filgħaxija. ta' fil-ħodu tal-għada terġa'.
Mhux hekk?
Attivitajiet il-ħin kollu, ġifri mhux li kollha ħafna ħin liberu waqt li kienet Mexico, imma fl-istess ħin f'dak il-ftit ħin li suppost qiegħda torqod, bażikament ħin kollha tikkonnektja maybe live chat jew affaritek ma' tfal tagħha li Malta kienu different time zone. So she had to adapt also there. I think it was the longest period of time that you spent away from your kids.
Yes,
Did you
7
feel
hours
homesick?
different. The first week, yes, because there it's very high. The country is very high, so yeah, it was disturbing. But I got quickly used to it because I mean, with all the activities we had, you don't really have time to think about what is happening in your body, what is happening around you. You just like the excitement, all the girls around you, and I mean, taking time to make yourself look the best, the photographers, social media, it was just crazy. So you don't really have time to think about the jet lag.
What was the highlight, of Mexico?
Wow, the highlight of Mexico.
Or the highlights?
It was the ladies. We were 127 countries.
Not the sombreros.
No.
Or the Mexican food.
Not the Mexican food.
You prefer Maltese food.
I prefer Maltese food. Honestly, I'm very honest.
What's your favorite Maltese food? This is a side note.
Pastizzi and rabbit stew.
And rabbit stew? Pastizzi ricotta or...
No,
Piselli.
Piselli.
Okay.
Piselli. It's
Continue
my
about
favorite.
Mexico, sorry.
No, in Mexico we had, obviously our diet was very under control. Of course, because last year they experienced some girls putting on weight, and when you have your evening gown, it's made with your measurements, and if you put on weight, then they have an issue, and the time frame is extremely short. They don't have time to adjust or buy a new gown, no. So they made their best so we can remain as we came and fit in our clothes, so the diet was under control. But the environment, we didn't feel, personally, I didn't feel at any moment that I was in a competition. It was just like I'm in a family with 126 sisters and I'm the oldest one. It was incredible. Like I was having conversation. I just feel like so natural. Since I arrived at the airport, from that moment, I met already 10 of them. We were taking selfies, talking like we knew each other for years. So for me, that was the highlight. It was so beautiful. Sharing my rooms, for the first week, for the first 3 days, then I had to move in my room alone. But it was incredible. And also, my advantage, the fact that I was the oldest one. So I have all my girls, like I call them, coming to me. And yes, they were like, sharing their stories with me.
Mother Miss Universe of the other participants as well.
Yeah, it was so incredible. And I felt like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Asking for advice, asking questions exactly the same as you're asking right now. Like, how do you manage to combine work, kids? How does it feel to be a mother and all these things, And they actually appreciate because Miss Universe Thailand, she did a beautiful post about me on social media. I was surprised because, I just do it naturally. I don't do it because I expect something. I mean, you don't even have time to think about an expectation. But when you see what they say, the feedback they give about you, you feel like, yes, I'm actually putting a good footprint on in the universe. And this is the most beautiful gift for me. It's not about the crown. I would have liked to win it, but no.
Obviously.
But yeah, but I did the biggest achievement, there. More than, for me, it's beyond the crown.
And you managed to get a souvenir at least from Mexico?
My sweatshirt I was wearing, I have a lot of souvenirs. That one is from Miss Universe Russia. And I have quite a lot. My handbags, I'm just like fully Miss Universe dressed. This, my water, yes, quite a lot. My souvenirs are more in my head.
Beautiful.
Those are the most important, my head and my heart. Those are the souvenirs, the best one. It's not about things,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ellen, qed titkellem dwar din l-esperjenza tan sabiħa. Id-diskrivi daqslik iku familja waħda l-kumplament huma ħuta. Forsi nisem barra meta raw trasmissjoni jaraw xandira jidu daw kunu jgħiru għal-jom, kunu jgħiru għal xulxin, kulħadd backstabber u hekk. Xi twieġeb għal dan inti?
Din naħseb hija il-mentalità meta tidħol kelma kompetizzjoni. U naħseb mhux biss fil-modeling, iżda anka jaħsbu f'kant, sfin, whatever kompetizzjoni, ħajkun hemm dik il-pika, dik lejra, speċjalment peress li hija kompetizzjoni bejn tfajlit u bejn nisa. Eżatt, jew ħattaw lek il-libsa backstage jew affarijiet. Fil-verità dan mhux xejn minnu. U kemm Malta meta jkunu għaddejjin dawk is-6 xhur 7 xhur ta' preparamenti, verament qatt għandi tfajlit illi sallum il-ġurnata wara snin illi ħadu sem għadhom jiltaqgħu ta' spiss flimkien, narhom fuq social media ġili qabdu lil xulxin bridesmaids u maid of honors għax jibnu dik il-relazzjoni bejnietom. Anka waqt is-sera ta' finali stess tara li ċertu finalisti li dawk maddewx eżempju ma' top 10 jew top 5 baqgħu jgħinu backstage l-oħrajn li għaddew jissapportjaw mu jċabċbu għalihom. Jiġifieri forsi dawk il-mentalità li hemm barra n-nies jaħsbu li ħajkun hemm ejra kompetizzjoni hekk, fil-verità they build a strong relationship bejnietom. Speċjalment meta tumbat xi ħaġa internazzjonali fejn inti daw tfajliet qabel ma jkunu res ukoll ġol location fejn tkun issir kompetizzjoni din is-sera kienet Mexico. Qatt ma jkunu ntaqgħu li fuq social media. U nista' ngħidlek li f'dawk it-tliet ġimgħat iva verament jibnu relazzjonijiet għal fatt li wkoll ikun hemm dik il-kurzità biex huma jiskopru l-kulturi ta' xulxin, il-lifestyles differenti ta' xulxin, kollha jkollhom il-passat u l-istejjer tagħhom, jiġifieri jirnexxilhom jispiraw il-xulxin
u komunità waħda.
Eżatt, jaqsmu l-esperjenza tagħhom fl-aħħar mill-aħħar. Iridu jissapportaw il-xulxin għax ovvjament hemm barra qegħdin ġo pajjiż differenti milli mhux imdorin jgħixu fih u kollha qegħdin jgħaddu minn dik l-esperjenza illi titkun preparata mentalment. Il-għadix mhijiex faċli fejn inti minn filgħodu qabel ma tinżel l-breakfast trid tkun mentalment preparata li ħassib reception area kollha photographers, media people, mill-5 ta' filgħodu jkun qed jistennewhom fir-reception li inti għandek dik li ngħidu l-esperjenza fejn inti għal dawk it-tliet ġimgħat ħossok letteralment celebrity. Jiena
jekk hawnhekk niġi xogħol xogħol il-red carpet, ġifieri kolli l-kafe.
Le, minn dak it-tip li jridu jieħdu n-nifs qabel jinfetaħ il-bib tal-lift li inti ħatoħroġ hemm barra u jekk tagħmel mossa ħażina ħadd spiċċa tiġri fuq social media għax inti ma xejjerx il dak jew għax inti
jaħsbuk ingrata.
Eżatt, jew għax inti naf kont mixew il-fist il-libsa tal-kontestant qudiemek, forsi biżbal jaħsbu li għax hemm dik lejra jibdew jibnu l-istejjer fuq social media l-lum il-ġurnata, so tkun mentalment preparata mhix ħaġa faċli li jaħsbu li sempliċement ħadd titlammek biex tidher sabiħa miflud sa filgħaxija u daqshekk.
How do you prepare mentally for such a beauty contest?
You just prepare because you have to, when you start your journey, you just put in mind that you're a winner. So you have to put yourself in the shoes of a winner because you can't say, oh, I'm just here because I know I'm not confident enough. I know that I'm not going to win.
So it helped you build your self-confidence as well.
Yes. Although, to be honest with you, that's the mindset I had. Everyone around me believed in me, but I was the only one seeing it just for fun. You know, I was there and I said, because first of all, I said I'm a mother. I'm the oldest one, so I have a lot of young, beautiful ladies around me. So, okay, yeah, let me just enjoy the moment. But
so you felt that stereotype of being old and taking part in such a competition?
Yes, of course. That's how I was thinking. Thank God, luckily enough, around me, I have a lot of people believing in me. First of all, my kids and everyone who knows that I was taking part of Miss Universe and who knows me, they were like, oh my God, you are actually very smart without any pretension. You are smart, you are beautiful, and you have life experience, so you have your chances. They kept telling me, and I was like, come on. And the second thing that I'm going to raise was that I said, a black girl, a mother in Malta? No, I'm not seeing myself representing Malta as a black woman abroad. So I'm not going to make it.
You were shocked in a way.
Yes. I was because we don't know the judges. We never know. And the judges, they change for the preliminary. For every step, they are different people. So we don't see them before, we just see them there. You don't even actually see them because they're sitting and they can see you, but you can't really see them, you know. So I didn't believe in myself that much because it was something for me that was like, no, I'm pretty sure that if I make it to the final, to the crown, it will raise a lot of, talk and the media and everything. So, nah. So when I won, I said, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. You know, it was like something wow, it was incredible. That moment, I don't know what I was thinking exactly, but it took me few minutes to realize that I was the winner of Miss Universe Malta. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Beatrice. We have more questions, so stay there. L-aħħar parti ta' By the Way minna uftit ieħor biex anke nikkonkludu flimkien din l-istorja tas-sew ta' ispirazzjoni.
By the Way, jippreżenta Gabriel Lija.
By the way, ikompli l-lum miej fl-studio Beatrice, jew inkella kif aħjar nafuha bħala sa Queen Bee. From where did it come from, the stage name?
Queen Bee?
Queen Bee.
I don't know. I just start calling myself Queen Bee, and it started like that. In the modeling industry, they all call me Queen Bee. And I have it here, Queen Bee.
Okay.
Yes. So.
Okay. Għanna l-Alan, Darmanin u kollet jaqsam anki l-esperienza tijaw. Il-kontestanti mentalment naf li hemm numru ta' ġimgħat li kont jippreparaw ruħhom għal kategoriji differenti ta' kif ħajġu ġudikati. Mentalment kif tħejjuhom li jisma' anki jekk xi ħadd tik feedback, inti ma titux personali wisq u tinternalizzaħ bħala kritika, fis-sens li toħodha personali u tiswa li tkissirlek il-karattru floq li tibnik.
Eżatt. Li aħna nippreparhom sew għal fatt li nagħmluhom ċertu lezzjonijiet apposta, u waħda minnhom tkun anke tok biex huma jibdew jiddraw il-kummenti x'ħaj jistgħu jaffaċċjaw speċjalment fuq social media. Jridu jibdew jiddraw għal fatt li once inti tkun aħna jidura in the public eye, tkun xettika u lesta għal li tilqa' dak il-kritika tan-nies. Ma tistax toġob il-kulħadd, da laqas jekk tkun just kamra bej 10 min-nies u kollha ħbieb, żgur ħajkun hemm il-klikek fim bejnietom, ġifieri waqt kompetizzjoni bħal di u mill-pubbliku ġenerali ma tistax ikun li inti ħadd nittoġob ma' kulħadd. Jiena dejjem ngħidlhom ħaġa waħda illi intom tiġà sibtu l-kuraġġ u qegħdin hawnhekk. Min jaf kemm hemm nies hemm barra li qegħdin jiġġudikawkom jikkritikawkom iżda m'għandhomx l-istess kuraġġ li jagħmlu dak li qegħdin tagħmlu intom. Jiena wkoll lajt ħafna kritika kemm fuq it-televiżjoni minħabba x-show norganizza min ma qdar ix-show, min ma qadarek, min ma qadarek, illum il-ġurnata drajthom ma nagħtix każ, u speċjalment imbagħad wara li kienet inkurunata Beatrice affaċċajt ħafna minn jikteb fuq Facebook u fuq Instagram u hekk.
Affettwatek lilek mentalment.
Laqgħa xejn taf għaliex għaliex one any kind of publicity is publicity at the end of the day. U tu dejjem ngħid min jaħseb li huwa kapaċi iktar minni dawk forsi li bdew jiktbu jitolbu r-riżenja tiegħi li ma jifhmux tipo kif tmur l-andament ta' show bħal dan. Ngħid żgur li forsi dawk li qed jikkritikaw mhumiex kapaċi jagħmlu dak li nagħmel inti. So jiena ma nħallix taffettwani, naf il-potenzjal tiegħi, naf il-karattru tiegħi u naf x'nista' noffri. So il-kumment tan-nies noħodhom bħala very lightly like.
Tħoss li social media bidlet il-mod ta' kif il-modeling isir. Ġifieri qabel għandek is-serata u għad tippubbliċizzawa fuq il-mezzi tax-xandir, f'daqqa waħda b'social media jisu tistenna li xħat ħajqabdek bil-mobile u tispiċa fuq social media.
Ovvijament għot iktar attent. Social media tejn ħafna ta' ġifiri mux ħanna tejn ħafna minn ċertu aspetti. Il-fat li qed tolqot iktar nies, so forsi dak li kien qabel sempliċement aħna nxandru s-serata tagħna finali fuq televiżjoni biss u qed jaraw kien nies mid-dar, illum il-ġurnata tista' tilħaq udjenza ikbar li eżempju anke Miss Universe Malta, ix-show Malti, ikun anke fuq il-YouTube channel live tal-Miss Universe ta' barra. So hemmhekk qed tilħaq udjenza internazzjonali, ġifieri inti is-social media qed tgħinek, fimt qed kabbarlek l-insights dawk ngħidulhom aħna li inti tilħaq iktar nies. Però ovvjament fiha l-aspetti tagħha negattivi wkoll. Għal fatt li ħafna minni sfortunatament mingħajr ma juru min huma wara fake profiles u affaritek lesti li maqdur jikkritikaw. Meta bdejt 20 sen ilu fi żmieni sempliċement biex nanka niftaħ l-applikazzjonijiet, kont nagħmel kupun fuq magazzin popolari ta' Malta dak iż-żmien u kont niftaħ PO Box biex ma tnix l-address tal-parents biex ma nekxiex fejn joqogħdu u kont nirċievi kupuni ta' kontestanti li jridu jieħdu sem. Illum il-ġurnata tidħol through social media ħafna minnhom meta niftaħ applications qabel ma niltaqa' magħhom jisni tiġa insir naf min huma l-fatt li tidħol fuq il-profil tagħhom
Mhux
u
hekk?
tiġa tkun qed tara għandek kważi l-istorja kollha ta' min huma daw it-tfajliet li
Għax dik
ħankun
oħra,
niltaqa'
fuq
magħhom.
social media nikxfu ħafna minn ħajjitna. ħafna drabi ġifieri.
Però mbagħad minna l-oħra
Jaf tissorpre-
nalmuhom ukoll kif jużaw is-social media b'mod pożittiv ukoll għal-fatt li illum il-ġurnata ċertu sponsors u hekk li tittaħdem magħhom li jkun qed jiffinanzjaw xi ħaġa bħal di li grazzi għalihom xi ħaġa bħal di tista' tittella. Namlu enfasi ħafna li tfajliet iridu jużaw is-social media kif jippromowdjaw ċertu sponsors u affarijiet hekk ġifieri minnaħa l-oħra mbagħad nagħlmuhom il-realtà tajba tal-social media nifisha.
Something that I noticed, Beatrice.
Yes.
I searched for you on TikTok.
Okay.
And you have only 3 videos. So you're not really on social media at all in that way. On Facebook you're more active.
On Instagram and Facebook, yes. You know, the story behind TikTok is that it's my daughter account actually.
Ah, okay.
So she used my number to open her TikTok account, and I said, okay, let me open a TikTok account. And I ended up on her account. I deleted everything. I had a fight with her actually because of it. And she said, okay, it's fine, just keep the account. So I'm still learning because I said, it's just a try. I'm not a TikTok person at all. It's just a try. I said, okay, let me just try that and see how it works. But it's definitely not for me. I mean, Instagram, Facebook, yes, a bit, because in Malta, people are more into Facebook than Instagram.
The older generation.
The older
generation.
Not.
Thank you.
But it's true. I think the older generation are more into Facebook.
Yeah.
Le, pero anka bħala popolazzjoni il-Maltin iktar fukati fuq Facebook, Instagram u aktar internazzjonali. Il-fatt li nara xi kultant huwa aktar negattiv li Facebook iktar faċli kommentaw jikbu negattività fuqu, mentri Instagram xi kultant nara more positive.
Iktar sens ta' komunità forsi.
Eżatt, iktar għandek fejn taqsam ir-ritratti milli ġliet u għax moġbokx li kelta dak il-restaurant
U
tfal
toast expensive. Għaxar anki fuq toast noqdu nġildu. But the thing is, you're a mother
Yes.
of 3 relatively young children. They are on social media. What's your take on social media, filters, and the way they portray beauty as well?
That's what we were talking actually about, because I was congratulating
Michela.
Michaela for what they're doing for the young generation. So social media, it's actually a beautiful tool. It's an amazing tool, and if we use it properly, we could have a lot of profit. Like I'm using it to promote my modeling career, to promote my title as Miss Universe, and I'm seeing where it's taking me. Now, if I use it on a certain way to spread like other people doing, hate and everything, it might create in someone's life mental issue and what goes with it. Do I want to do it? No. Can I do it? Yes, but I'm not that type of person because I'm conscious, I'm aware of my actions, you know, and the impact it could have in the life of others. So I rather inspire others in a good way rather than putting them in a situation where they might not be able to handle. However, we have different type of people on social media, and when it comes to the young generation, I think we are losing them because everything is just fake, virtual. We have a lot of people posting virtual life just to show off. But what they forget is that the generation behind us is watching. They are watching the videos and they think that life is that easy. You know, they try to do the same and they end up in the problems. And when it comes to filter, I use filters sometimes, honestly. I'm not going to lie, but I'm 40. Sorry, that's my excuse. So I watched a documentary, actually, and the cosmetic surgeon, they call them,
Okay.
he said that he was impressed because his clients are more and more younger. They come to him between the age of 15 to 25, and they show him a photo, a picture of them with a filter. And they tell him, I want to look
Be
like
like
this.
this.
And he's like, this is a filter. They say, yes, but this is much more beautiful than the person I am in reality. So it's a big challenge now to have filters. And like before, we used to do cosmetical surgery at a certain age, just to fix a bit, when you have wrinkles, and just to build your self-confidence when you're 50. Now you have a girl, she's 16, already with lip fillers, with nails longer. You wonder how she hold a pen, how she even clean herself with those nails, All they think about is to go out, to do this, to do that, without any judgment. But when you think deeper about it, if they start at a young age, at 25, what would they do? Because they see all the influencers on social media, how they look beautiful, but those influencers, they also use filters. They use Photoshop.
For me, it's beautiful in inverted commas.
Exactly. So, if we do not educate our children about the reality of the life out of virtual and what is the virtual, we will lose them, because social media is just taking over everything. So, once again, I'm not a perfect mother, but I'm someone who have my feet well, how you saw it?
In the ground?
On the ground.
On the ground?
Yes, on the ground, because I care about the future of my kids. The world is already breaking apart. So if we as parents, we do not actually find time to control,
Be with children,
and try to share life, free time at home like we grew up doing, we're going to lose this generation. I understand that with the cost of life, everyone is battling, trying to work, both parents working. We don't have time anymore. We work and come back home. We are tired. We have to cook. So we don't really realize what is going on around us with kids. I understand that. But I also said it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse to not to observe the change of behavior in our children, to check what they do on social media, follow them on social media, try to control a bit what they're doing, who they follow, and it's all about building trust. How you speak, having a conversation. Some parents are so scared to have a conversation about certain things with their kids because it's a taboo. But why? It's a taboo. I rather have a conversation about a very sensitive topic with my kids than having to pay the consequences tomorrow, So yes, I think parents, they need to kind of step a bit back and take care of the young generation, because social media is just destroying. When you see the kind of messages that they post, come on. We witnessed it with my title of Miss Universe.
Sometimes young people message you with these type of messages.
They don't message me privately,
like
but
comments.
they comment. But honestly, I don't know if they are young or whatever, because I really don't check the profile. I just read them, and I reach a point where they just make me smile. They don't affect me at all, because at the end of the day, most of the things that they write, they don't even know what they're saying. They have no information about the organization of Miss Universe. They never met me in real life, so how could they judge me just because I'm a black woman? So they don't treat me. I just feel sorry for them. I just feel sorry, because you have to be really ignorant to be able to discriminate someone because of her skin color,
Allora, nitkellmu dwar il-filters. Meta tiġu biex tiġġudikaw minn ħajiltażel, eccetera, tieħdu nota ta' min tipo jider jew jipprova jider realistiku u min tipo jider li għandu ritratti vera editjati, tipo setups vera mhumiex reali. Dat tip ta' analiżi jsir meta ta'
Ara, mhux essaċ, għalfat aħna dejjem ngħidulhom anke meta eżempju jkollhom xi ħaġa xi filmat jew xi photoshoot jew hekk, kemm jista' jkun anke bħala make-up u hekk teżaġeraw xi jew naturali, meta jkollhom ħafna dark eyes bħala make-up u affarijiet hekk, il-lips ngħidulhom eżempju natural colors, jiġifieri ma nemminx li f'ħaġa bħal din ħanejdilhom jagħtiġux bla make-up jew tiditjaw x'ritratti. Għalfatt li nammetti anke jiena neditja, anke jiena għamilt cosmetic surgeries, jiġifieri I'm all for improving how you see yourself if there is something that is bothering you and you want to feel more confident. Ġuri ma nara xej ħażin. Speċjalment it-tfajl li forsi eżempju min ikun jixtieq ikabbar sidri jew hekk, jiġifieri aħna m'hemmx regolament ngħidulhom ħares jekk inti għandek xi cosmetic surgery ma tistax tuħsem. Għal-fatt li nkabbar minn Malta ħafna mill-kontestanti jkollhom. Jiġifieri mhux ħanwaqqafhom fuq hekk, mhux ħanjonqsulhom punti, iżda meta jiġi fuq editing isir ovvjament editing kemm il-photographers u anke jiena meta fl-aħħar mill-aħħar jekk jiena għandna attivitajiet u ħadd ritratti behind the scenes ta' Beatrice jew affarijiet hekk. ħan nirranġawhom nirtukjawhom biex meta ntellhom online ħajdru ħadder l-aħjar possibbli. Ġifieri mhux ħanqod nikdeb u ngħid le qatt ma jsir editing jew filters u affarijiet hekk taf kif. Però hemm limitu f'kollox, taf bħal kull ħaġa fil-ħajr tkun hemm limitu. Meta narhom li mbagħad qasettin taraf ġieli tiġri ta' kif semmejt l-ewwel meta ġieli japplikaw it-tfajliet, l-ewwel li nidħol fuq il-profile tagħhom.
Mbagħad tiġi hemm
ġieli li eżatt ngħid din naħseb żers ilha wisna għal editing meta niltaqa' magħha fiżikament, fimt? So
ħallina qastin nara.
So aħna meta ntella jiena xi ħaġa fuq il-social media ta' Miss Universe Malta li hija kombinata ma' show innifisha noqogħdu attenti kemm isir editing. Però mbagħad ovvja fil-ħajja personali tagħhom ma nistax
Le, bla dubju.
Nitlilhom fil-ħajja personali tagħhom, però ovvjament meta jkun hemm xi ħaġa li hija combined fejn ħajjidher it-tip ta' Miss Universe Malta ma nkunx irrid over editing jew li tidher totalment differenti mill-personali inti.
Għax il-tip ta' konkors kif konna nsemmu, lan li jibni self-confidence, ġifiri mux li inti tipprova toħloq immaġini perfetta, li ħan kabbar sitrin, kabbar wara, nolli xufrija.
Fl-ħar mill-ħar, ikun hemm ħafna attivitajiet li daw l-attivitajiet forsi mhux just ritratt fuq Facebook jew fuq Instagram, iżda jkunu titkellem fuq televiżjoni. Ara daw in-nies ħajjinnutaw li dik li inti fuq ritratti titfa' fir-ritratti ħajaraw kumbat f'attivitajiet oħrajn, ambitu ieħor fejn inti ħajkollhom jaraw face to face inti minn inti. Jiġifieri għal xejn tipprova tinħeba wara personaġġ ġast tar-ritratti meta inti diħla f'xi ħaġa bħal di li inti ħatesponi lek innifsek speċjalment f'attivitajiet bħal televiżjoni, intervisti, photoshoots u hekk. Fl-aħħar mill-aħħar is-serata finali, is-serata preliminari u meta huma jkunu ġaġġati fuq il-personality judging tagħhom, daw il-ġurija jarawhom face to face. Ġifieri inti tinħeba kemm tinħeba wara editing fir-ritratt, inti xorta tiġi ġġudikata biex terbaħ it-titlu i-witch in witch u ir-realtà ta' kif tidher inti.
U kemm sabiħ il-personalità u mbagħad anki dik tagħmel differenza bħalma kien il-każ ta' Queen Bee. I'm saying that personality matters a lot in such a competition. Totally. In your Instagram bio, I noticed that you made a reference to God.
Yes.
Did faith help you in your healing journey?
Yes, a lot. My daughter is actually named Faith, and she's a strong believer. And she, sometimes I'm like, not paying attention, but my faith in God, it helped me. I'm seeing a lot of miracles in my life and change things that just randomly happened, and I'm like, you know what, I rather believe in God. I have nothing to lose than not believing, and at the end I find out that I should have believed. It took me nothing. So out of respect of anyone believing and the non-believer, but this is me, my philosophy of life. And
so before you mentioned also your you time, like silence or moments of prayer maybe.
Not moments of prayer, reading mostly, I would say. Yes, meditation. My meditation is about reading, because when I meditate, I can't just stop thinking like people think it should be. It's impossible, because I'm an overthinker. I start to think about random stuff like, actually, where is my birth certificate? This kind of things. Yes, I rather spend that time reading philosophy, a lot of Stoics, and you will see also in my stories on Instagram, I share quite a lot about my books. When I find something that could be also helpful for someone or could talk to someone, I just share it on social media. So my me time, it's always about reading.
Reading.
Yeah.
Michaela, l-aħħar kumment tiegħek biex nikkonkludu.
Aħna bħala aġenzija fuq li konna nitkellmu niprovdu anke opportunitajiet għaż-żgħażagħ. Eżempju, Queen Bee tkellmet fuq mindfulness ukoll. Għandna programm speċjalizzat propju fejn żgħażagħ jiġu u joqogħdu b'mod rilassati hemmhekk waqt li jagħmlu interactive activities li jirrettaw kif għandek timmaneġġja l-emozzjonijiet tiegħek, kif għandek mbagħad issib ħina li kien nifsek u anke ssib mument fejn tirrilassa x'illum il-ġurnata. Naqra diffiċli kultant vera.
You manage to relax a bit. You manage to relax.
Of course, I'm always relaxed. I look relaxed.
Yes.
Even when I'm stressed, I look relaxed.
Naqra diffuser, naqra
No, that's my daughter.
Your daughter?
Me, I'm just like, ooh.
Relax.
No, I'm just
relax. Take it easy.
Quiet time.
Yes.
One last message to all those listeners, a message of courage and of hope. Maybe people who are listening to us, but they are struggling in silence.
So I have a quote which I always put at the end of my interview. Alan must be used to it now.
What's the quote? Hold on.
Yes, so I always said that nobody has enough water to extinguish the flame that burns into you. And even if they manage, raise from your ashes like a phoenix and burn from 1,000 lights. I think that said it all. This is a message of hope, a message of power, and a message of hope for everyone going through any kind of situation in life, just to tell you that it's normal to touch the bottom. It doesn't matter how many times you fail, but what matters is how long you take to stand and move on. Yeah.
Beatrice, Queen Bee, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ellen.
Grazie fil-istedina.
Thank you, Michaela. I really enjoyed this conversation. I think it was wonderful. We touched upon different topics in such a short time.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having
this
me.
episode of By the Way. Infakkarkom li jekk forsi anke l-ħaqtu l-aħħar biċċa tal-programm jew tixtiequ tixxerjaw ma' xi ħadd, il-programm qiegħed ukoll on demand kemm tidħlu fuq il-YouTube tfittxu Newsbook Malta fis-sezzjoni tal-programmi tfittxu By the Way u hemmhekk issibuh jew kelli għandna l-pjattaforma tagħna li hija Newsbook TV, għandna l-Instagram account tagħna 103 By the Way. Żgur mhux up to date naħseb daqsta Miss Universe Malta ġifieri.
Jan ħafna u preparazzjoni wara, meta konna Mexico speċjalment, inqum fil-statejta fil-ħodu temmek biex naplodja fil-ħin ta' Malta, ħin kollu on the go.
Tara, ġifieri apprezzaw il-kontenut li sibu wkoll fuq il-mezzi soċjali, nirringrazzja wkoll lit-tekniku tagħna Mario Serafa li stemela possibbli biex ikollna wkoll dan il-programm u ringrazzja wkoll lilkom is-semmija li minn ġimgħa l-oħra issegwu wkoll dan il-programm. Lejli tajjeb.
By the Way, jippreżenta Gabriel Lija.